Have you ever noticed how a simple hangout with friends can quietly mess with your head?
You go out feeling fine, maybe even confident, and then someone pulls out the latest phone. Another friend talks about a new car. Someone else casually mentions an expensive trip. And suddenly your mood shifts.
You're still smiling, still laughing, but inside there's a strange pressure, a silent voice asking, should I be doing more? Am I falling behind? This is how it starts for most people, not with a big financial mistake, but with small moments of comparison that feel harmless.
The dangerous part is that no one calls it a problem. It's just called normal life. But here is the hard truth most people never realize. Many people don't struggle with money because they earn too little. They struggle because they're constantly trying to keep up with the people around them.
And the scariest part is, this pressure doesn't feel like pressure at all. It feels like motivation, ambition, and success until one day you look at your bank balance, your stress levels, and your future and realize something is seriously wrong.
Keeping up with your friends isn't really about friendship.
It's about comparison, validation, and the fear of being left behind.
We live in a world where everyone looks successful on the outside, especially on social media. But almost no one shows the full picture. You see the car, not the loan. You see the vacation, not the credit card bill. You see the lifestyle, not the anxiety that comes with maintaining it.
And when the people you compare yourself to are your own friends, the pressure becomes even stronger.
Because you don't want to feel like the less successful one in the group.
In this video, we are going to uncover the hard truth about keeping up with your friends, how it slowly drains your money, damages your peace of mind, and steals your future without you even noticing.
We'll talk about why this pressure feels so real, how it traps smart people in bad financial habits,
and most importantly, how you can break free from it without losing your friends or your self-respect. This is Money Uncovered, and today, we're exposing a truth that quietly keeps millions of people stuck while they think they're moving forward.
It rarely starts with a big decision. No one wakes up one day and says, let me ruin my finances to impress my friends. It begins quietly.
A dinner that's slightly more expensive than usual. A phone upgrade that wasn't really needed.
A weekend plan you agree to even though your budget is already tight. You tell yourself it's fine, that you deserve it, that everyone else is doing it too.
And that's exactly how the trap works.
When everyone around you is upgrading their lifestyle, staying the same starts to feel like falling behind.
The pressure doesn't come from insults or direct competition. It comes from silence, from comparison, from the fear of being the odd one out.
Humans are social creatures, and fitting in feels like survival. So when your friends spend more, travel more, buy more, your brain interprets it as the new normal. You don't want to look cheap. You don't want questions. You don't want to explain your choices. So you stretch your budget just a little,
then a little more. Over time, these small decisions stack up, and before you realize it, your financial stress has a familiar face. It looks like friendship. The most dangerous part is that nothing feels wrong at the moment.
You are not starving. You are not broke yet.
But slowly, quietly, the pressure to keep up begins shaping your spending decisions more than your own goals ever did. Comparison isn't a personal weakness. It's a built-in human instinct. Your brain constantly measures where you stand compared to others to decide whether you're safe, successful, or falling behind. The problem is that modern life has turned comparison into a non-stop activity. Social media magnifies it, but real-life friends make it hit harder. When strangers succeed, it stings. When friends succeed, it feels personal. You start measuring your progress against theirs, even if your situations are completely different. Different incomes, different responsibilities, different support systems, but the same expectations.
And your brain ignores logic in favor of emotion. You don't see their private struggles, their debts, or their anxiety.
You only see outcomes, the car, the lifestyle, the confidence. So your mind fills in the gaps with assumptions. They must be doing better than me.
This creates a loop where spending becomes emotional. You are not buying things because you need them.
You're buying them to restore your sense of self-worth.
The more you compare, the more you feel behind.
And the more you feel behind, the more you spend to catch up.
This cycle doesn't make you happier.
It makes you tired, constantly chasing a moving target, because no matter how much you earn, there will always be someone in your circle doing more or at least appearing to.
And if your definition of success is tied to other people's progress, you will never feel like you've arrived.
Lifestyle inflation is one of the most invisible financial traps, and keeping up with friends accelerates it faster than anything else.
When your income increases, or even when it stays the same, your expenses quietly rise to match the lifestyle around you. What once felt like a luxury slowly becomes a necessity. The expensive coffee becomes routine.
Eating out becomes normal.
Upgrading stops feeling optional.
And the worst part is that none of this feels irresponsible because it's socially acceptable. You are not overspending. You tell yourself. You're just living, but your bank account tells a different story.
Every increase in spending locks you into a higher baseline. Now you need more money just to maintain the same lifestyle. There's no breathing room.
No margin for mistakes. No space to slow down.
You earn, you spend, you repeat.
And when unexpected expenses show up, as they always do, you rely on credit. Not because you're careless, but because your lifestyle leaves you no flexibility. This is how people with decent incomes end up living paycheck to paycheck.
Not because they lack money, but because their lifestyle expanded faster than their financial foundation.
Keeping up feels harmless in the moment, but over time, it builds a financial cage that gets harder to escape the longer you stay inside it.
The financial cost of keeping up is obvious eventually, but the mental cost shows up much earlier.
Constant pressure creates constant stress.
You start worrying about money even when you're spending it to have fun. You check prices more often. You feel guilt after purchases.
You avoid looking at your bank balance. And yet, you keep spending. This internal conflict drains your energy. You're trying to appear relaxed while carrying invisible anxiety. Over time, this stress affects your confidence.
You stop trusting your own decisions because they reign no longer based on what is best for you. They're based on how you'll be perceived. And when money decisions are driven by fear of judgment, peace disappears.
You may look successful on the outside, but inside, you feel trapped.
This is why so many people feel exhausted even when their lives look good. They're performing a lifestyle instead of living one.
Real freedom isn't about affording everything, it is about not feeling pressure to afford things you don't even want. And the moment you realize that your spending is controlled by comparison, not choice, you understand how expensive that pressure really is. Every time you spend money to keep up, you're not just spending cash, you're spending future options. That money could have gone into savings, investments, skills, or opportunities that compound over time. But instead, it disappears into moments that provide temporary validation.
The real damage isn't visible right away.
It shows up years later when you realize you have little saved despite working hard, when emergencies feel like disasters,
when opportunities feel risky because you have no safety net.
This is the opportunity cost no one talks about.
Two people can earn the same income and live completely different futures based on how much they care about keeping up. One builds security slowly, the other builds appearances quickly, and appearances don't compound. Time is your most valuable financial asset, and comparison steals it quietly. You don't notice the loss until it's gone.
And by then, catching up feels harder because you've been running in place instead of moving forward. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Many of the friends you're trying to keep up with are under the same pressure.
They're not winning.
They're coping. Debt is common. Stress is hidden. And financial anxiety is rarely discussed openly.
Everyone is trying to look stable while privately worrying about money. But no one wants to be the first to admit it.
So the illusion continues.
Everyone assumes everyone else is doing fine, and everyone spends accordingly.
This shared silence creates a collective trap.
You're not behind, you're just seeing a carefully curated version of reality. Understanding this doesn't make you superior. It makes you aware.
And awareness is power. Breaking free doesn't require cutting people off or isolating yourself.
It requires redefining success on your own terms. Real progress often looks boring.
It doesn't get applause. It doesn't impress anyone immediately, but it builds peace.
Learning to say no without guilt is a skill. Choosing long-term stability over short-term validation is a mindset shift.
When you stop explaining your choices, you stop giving comparison power over you. The right people will respect that, and the wrong people were never worth impressing in the first place.
Keeping up with your friends can cost you far more than money.
It can cost you clarity, peace, and years of financial progress.
You don't need to look rich to become secure.
You don't need approval to move forward. The moment you stop performing and start building, everything changes. Ask yourself this one question. Are you designing your life or just reacting to other people's choices? If this video made you think differently, like it, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Money Uncovered for more truths that help you build real wealth, not just the illusion of it. At the end of the day, keeping up with your friends isn't really about money. It is about who is in control of your choices. When your spending is driven by comparison, you're living someone else's life instead of building your own. Real success doesn't need an audience, and real progress often happens quietly, without likes, applause, or approval.
The people who win in the long run aren't the ones who looked rich early on. They're the ones who protected their peace, stayed patient, and made decisions that serve their future, not their image.
If this video made you pause and reflect, that's a good thing. Awareness is the first step toward change.
Ask yourself honestly, are you chasing validation, or are you building freedom?
If you found value in this, make sure to like the video so it reaches more people who need to hear this truth. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know if you've ever felt this pressure in your own life. And don't forget to subscribe to Money Uncovered, where we expose the hard money truths no one talks about, so you can stop performing success and start building real wealth.